So you've just completed the purchase of your dream home here in Spain, but what things should you do immediately after the purchase? So stay tuned for this week's episode number 137 of 2 Minute Tuesday with Hondon Valley Homes, where we're going to take a look at the most important things to do once you've picked up the keys to your new villa. So, number one, as I just mentioned, keys. Now, that's the first thing that you should turn your attention to. Now, you may have all of the keys in your possession, but do you really know that? Did the front door lock come with 3, 4, maybe even 5 keys? Have new keys been cut? And who has had these keys? Has it been friends of the previous owner, their family, estate agents, gardeners? So the first thing we always advise our clients to do is to get the main lock on their villa, the front door, the back door, get the locks changed, and then you have all of the keys in your possession. You don't know if that came with 3 keys originally or 4 keys. If you have the new lock and all of the keys, you know that only you have the keys to the property. And so, staying on the subject of security, make sure that you get your house insured correctly. Now, when you're buying a property, you've got so many things to attend to when you first move to your new property that getting the house insurance may be something that's very simple to forget. Now, as with most things, the cheapest option isn't normally the best option. So what we advise our clients to do is, in the first instance, you're always going to be opening a bank account, and many of the banks will also offer insurance when you're opening the account. Now, rather than forgetting about it, it may be an idea that, say, for the first year that you're here in Spain, that when you open your bank account, you take out your property and your contents insurance with your bank, and then it's something that you can then forget about for the first year. And then when you come round to renewing it, you can sort of shop around then and look for maybe some better deals and see what's available. It may well be that the bank offer a better deal. And for the sake of maybe 20 or 30 euros over and above the premium that you would pay by shopping around, at least it's something that you've got the peace of mind of knowing it's sorted for that first 12 months. Okay, number 3, we've got utilities. Now, the lawyers should have transferred all the utilities of water, electricity, of gas from the previous owner and transferred it into your name and attached it to your bank account. However, there is one sort of vital utility that they won't be able to do the transfer of, and that's the internet. So speak to the vendor of the property, maybe speak to the estate agent, and ask what internet providers are possible, what the costs are, what the speeds are, and maybe even if you have the previous vendor and they're very happy with the internet that they have, you can ask them whether they can transfer the utility, the internet that they have, into your name on the date of the completion. So you'll have a total continuity of service. For example, where we are here in the Hondon Valley, depending on the provider, you can have internet speeds of 20, 50, 100, 300, 500, 1 gigabit, 1,000 megabits per second internet. And depending on what your needs are, you can decide on what you want and what you want to pay. So it's one that people can often forget. It's one that the lawyers won't do. And if it's important to you, again, with many people working from home now, then make sure that you have continuity of service. So get that sorted even before you complete the sale of the property. Now, number 4, I've got meet the neighbours. Now, it's always nice to go and say hola to the neighbours. If you live in a village or an urbanisation, they're going to be, next door. It's a little bit more complicated if you live in the countryside. Now, your neighbours are going to be able to give you vital information. They're going to give you tips on living in the area. They'll keep an eye on your property when you're not there. And also, they're going to become your friends in the near future, hopefully. So maybe grab a cheap bottle of vino and go and ring the bell, knock on the door, and say hello, and get to meet the people that have already lived here in the area for a period of time. And finally, I've got enjoy it. It can sometimes be a long and somewhat stressful journey to get to this point, and it can be easy to forget that we all went through the stress of buying the property and the added stress of buying it in a foreign country with different laws and different ways of doing things. But I guarantee once it's all done and you're back at the property after the completion, take a look around at the amazing environment that you're now lucky enough to call home. Those trees are palm trees, and those bushes have got oranges and lemons growing on them. And the sky, it's blue most of the year, although not today. But sort of breathe in and take in. You shouldn't take it for granted. And it's a beautiful part of the world that you're going to be calling home. So really, after the stresses and of the money and selling your property and buying a new property in a different language and different ways of doing things, actually sit back with a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, something maybe a little bit stronger, and start to enjoy it, because it really is a fantastic place to call home. And that is that. It's a real quick one this week, but hopefully a super useful one as well if you're completing your sale soon. My details should be on the screen at the moment, so if you've got any questions about this video, ideas for anything you want covering in the future episodes, if you've got questions about buying here in Spain, or indeed if you're looking to sell and want to have a free, no obligation valuation or a chat with me, please let me know. So until the next episode, I wish you a great day, and we'll look forward to seeing you very shortly. Until then, adios.